Morven MacComas, arms laden with cloth she'd made for the chief's wife, approached the keep from her cottage at the edge of the village. Her son, Rory, had insisted on keeping her company, as though the walk across the village was a trek into the mountains. For his short legs, she reasoned, perhaps it seemed so. She eyed a group of lads playing with a stick and a feather-stuffed leather ball. "Stay away from those lads," she warned Rory. "They're too big for ye." Rory was small for his age, and the older boys were playing rough. His so-called friends, Kieran and Rabbie, were not among them. He gave her a disappointed frown from under his favourite blue cap, but nodded agreement. She felt bad that the circumstances of his birth made both of them ostracised by some in the village. If not for her skill and her loom, they might not have a home at all. She hesitated, considering for a moment taking him into the keep with her, but Lady MacComas would not approve of an unsupervised child in the keep, so she gave Rory a last stern look and turned to enter. Instead of the handle to the thick oaken door, her hand encountered a solid, warm, leather-covered surface. Surprised, heart-thumping, she glanced up. A stranger. He must have opened the door and stepped out at the same time she reached for it, while her attention was on Rory, or the lads she feared might harass him. "Pardon me, my lady." He reached out to help her as she stepped back and juggled the folded fabric lying across her arms. Once it was secure, he nodded. "I am Drummond Lathan." She'd heard Angus was back with reinforcements. This man was the first she'd seen. "You're one of the men Angus brought." "Aye, I am. We've come to put a stop to the raiding." "Thank ye. I hope ye do, and soon." She tipped her head and glanced toward the cloth in her arms. "I'm the MacComas weaver, Morven," she replied, looking back up at him. She was tall for a woman, but this Lathan was taller, broader, with muscular shoulders and arms that left no doubt he could handle himself in a fight. His eyes were the colour of the forest loam outside the village, or old honey. His hair, a warm auburn touched with copper in the sunlight, covered the nape of his neck, framing his strong throat, but didn't reach his shoulders. Her gaze dropped to his muscular chest and flat belly, outlined by the travel-worn fabric of his shirt, then landed on the cloth in her arms, recalling her to the reason she was here, not to acquaint herself with the attractive features of the handsome man before her. She had business with the clan's lady. She tore her gaze away from him and nodded at the door. "If ye would." "Of course." He opened it and gestured her inside, but did not follow. Inside, before the door closed behind her, she glanced around to thank him again. He looked her up and down, then gave her a smile that froze her in place. For a moment, her breath caught in her chest. "I'm pleased to meet ye. I hope to see ye again," he told her, before he closed the door firmly between them.